Hey guys, it's Jake from iTalk Tech here, and today this is our first video, and this video, it's going to be a tutorial. And this tutorial video is going to be how to downgrade to iOS 6 on an iPhone 5 or an iPad 4th gen. Currently, I've got an iPhone 5 here that's running iOS 6. This is a tethered downgrade, so that means you must reboot the phone with the software every time your phone dies or you turn it off. So to prove this is iOS 6, I say if I go to settings, general and about, you can see there that it's on iOS 6 and it also has 13.5 gigabytes of capacity. This is a 16 gigabyte iPhone 5 and this is how much they do have on stock iOS. There's no jailbreak on here, there's no Cydia, there's no Cool Booter, so this is not a dual boot, this is stock iOS on the main software on an iPhone 5, but it's a tethered downgrade. So like as I said, this means that you must put your phone into DOF mode and reboot every time you turn it off or your battery dies. So first things first, so this is what you need to do. So what you need to do is you need to go onto Safari and you need to download the iOS 6.1.3 firmware for your iPhone 5. If you have an iPad 4th generation, you will do the same thing, but you need to go to this website, ipsw.me. So obviously the first thing you do is choose a product, you click your iPhone or your iPad, depending on what you've got. It works on the iPhone 5 and I believe the iPad 4th generation, A6 devices. So then we need to scroll down and click on your iPhone 5. Now if you have the GS7 iPhone 5 or the global iPhone 5, that depends on what you've got. You need to check your model number. So if you don't know, check your model number and Google it to find out which one it is. Okay, but once you've found your iPhone and you know the one you want, then what you need to do is you need to click on it and then you need to choose your iOS 6.1.3 firmware file. So currently the one that's signed right now is iOS 10.3.4, but obviously the one that isn't signed is iOS 6.1.3, which is the one you need. I know it says it's not signed, but don't worry, that's just because you cannot restore it in iTunes. This software that we're going to be using, which is called Nightshade, which is open down here where my mouse is, this is also the other bit of software that you need to download for this to work. So what you need to do is you need to click on your iOS 6.1.3 firmware file and click download. Once it downloads, it will be on here. And that's part one done. Then what you need to do is you need to download the Nightshade software, which again, I'll have the link in the description, so you can download that. Once you've downloaded both the IPSW file and the Nightshade software, then what you need to do is you need to take your iPhone 5 and you need to turn it off. Now obviously this is on iOS 6, so I do not need to restore it, but I am going to be showing you what to do. So obviously just pretend this is on iOS 10, you just need to swipe and turn it off. Once you see that spinny logo thing stop, that means it's off. Then what you need to do is you need to open Nightshade. This is our software, this is what we're going to be using. Okay, then all you need to do is you need to click Other, Restore, select IPSW. This is where we're going to be using our file that we just downloaded. Now obviously because I've restored to iOS 6, I do not need to do this. And I'm also not going to do that in this video because it just means I'm going to erase all my stuff. Okay, and also a disclaimer before we start, you must, and this is important because I am not responsible for any data that is lost if people try this. Okay, so please make sure to back up your phone to iTunes or iCloud or any external drives, whatever it may be. You know, please do it, okay, because, you know, this is a restore downgrade, which means you will lose all your data. Okay, so obviously what you're going to do now that our phone is turned off, you would click select IPSW, find the IPS6 file that you downloaded. Once you do that, click start. Then when you click start, the instructions which are here are to hold the power and home for 10 seconds, which is basically putting it into DOF mode. So you would hold it for 10 seconds, then after the 10 seconds you would release the power button, but keep hold of the home button. And then once it does that, the screen will change and then it will say exporting the files or doing whatever it does. And then once it's done all that, you'll get a boot loop on your phone with all of the words and stuff. And then you'll get the classic iOS 6 Apple logo and then the progress bar, and then once it does that, it'll appear on the screen and say done. Then once it's done, what we need to do then is we need to click back again, and then we need to click boot tethered. This is the process that we need to get our phone to turn on so we can use it. And this is what you need to do every time you want to turn your phone back on after, say, the battery's died or you turned it off for whatever reason. Okay, so this is the same process. It's the DOF mode, hold, power and home for 10 seconds, etc. So what we're going to do is we're going to be turning this phone on. Because like as I say, this phone right now is off. And if I try to turn it on, which I'll show you, it just boots into nothing. There is a slightly bluish tint on the screen. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's nothing on the screen, like not booting up to anything. That's because we need this DOF mode to boot it. Okay, so this is what you need to do. Okay, so like as I say, once we have downgraded to iOS 6, we're going to now DOF mode and we're going to tether boot it. Okay, it's the same process as the downgrade, holding the home and power button, etc. But like as I say, the only reason why I didn't show you the actual downgrade is because I'm already on iOS 6 on this phone, and there's no point downgrading again because I'm just going to lose all my data, and I haven't backed it up ever before I started this video, so I don't really need to show you that because the instructions are on the screen. But of course, it is the same process, holding the home and power button. The main thing is, as long as you have your IPSW file and you have this nightshade, which I will have a link in the description, you're good to go. You just follow the instructions on here. So anyway, so let's get this iPhone booted, shall we? So let's click start. So I'm going to click start now, holding the home and power button for the time it tells me. So once it does that, I can get on to the next step. Release the power button, but continue to hold the home button. And I keep holding it till the time goes down. It should, there we go. I can let go. So now it's doing what it needs to do. You should also see the phone start to light up, and you know, there we are. It starts to appear on the screen. So as you can see, that's the boot loop and loading up all of the tethered files and everything that we need. And then once it does that, we should be on iOS 6. So I'll just let you watch that. There we go. And of course, if you are thinking, every time I need to tether boot it, will I lose my data? No, you only lose your data when you downgrade. Okay, since obviously I've downgraded on this before and I've you know, just booted it again, all my data is still on there. So as you can see, those apps that I had on before, those games, they're still on there. I've even got the old classic Flappy, you know, they were the good old days. But yeah, so all you need to do is just those two steps. So like as I say, the first step is, like as I say, to click other, click restore, select your IPSW file, then click start. Hold the home and power button for 10 seconds, and then hold the home button for 10 seconds, just like I did when I booted it. It'll downgrade it, and all of the things will appear on your phone, like all the words on the screen, all of that jazz. And then once it does that, it'll say done, like it just did there on the tethered boot. Then click back. Then you need to click boot tethered. Then you need to click start, and then do what I've just showed you on the screen. And then once it does that, you'll then appear with iOS 6. Now obviously it will appear on the hello setup because you'll obviously be on a fresh version, you know, where mine obviously just booted into what I already had on. But of course, once you've done that, your phone is on iOS 6, and there you go. You have successfully downgraded your iPhone 5 or iPad 4th gen to iOS 6. It works the same on both the iPhone and iPad. It's the same thing, holding the home and power button, select your IPSW file, downgrade. So that's just a quick tutorial on how to do this. This was the first video on the channel, and I just thought, why not? Let's have something a little bit fun, shall we? Let's go back to memory lane and just experience that classic iOS 6, that Steve Jobs era, you know, of, you know, how iOS looked and how the original software for this phone was. So that's this quick tutorial. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and if you like it, you know, please like the video and comment anything you would like to see in the future. Of course, whatever, I'm going to be doing a few different videos on different stuff. I've got some stuff planned, so stay tuned for that. And we'll see you in the next one, guys. Stay safe, and peace out.